All right. The mad treasure hunt. Winkin, blinkin, and secret code. There's that crab again. Judy craned her head back and squinted up at the flagpole outside the post office. Stink, this flag isn't white. It's white between the red stripes, said Stink. Oh, brother, come on. Let's go to the church, said Judy. But when they got to the church, it was locked. Aha! So it's not up all night, said Stink. At least it's tall and it's white and has brides, said Judy. But no assistant pirate with a sash was anywhere in sight. Stink, what else is tall? Stink looked up and down and all around. He saw the lighthouse sticking out of the trees. A lighthouse is tall and painted white, said Judy, and has a light that's shiny bright, said Stink. And it's up all night, said Judy. And if it stops, ship will crash on the rocks. To the lighthouse, said Stink, pointing the way. The lighthouse stood tall, blinking in the sun. Stink squinted to read the plaque. This lighthouse is so old. I know, said Judy. It's almost 200 years old, said Stink. I know. This lighthouse is so tall, said Stink. I know. It's like 75 feet tall. I know. King Kong was only 25 feet tall. I know. You can see the light if you're 14 miles away at sea. I know. They used to have to light it like a candle wick in whale oil. I know. Every lighthouse has its own pattern of blinks, so ships will know where they are, said Stink. What? Said Judy. Some even use Morse Code. Didn't you know? Asked Stink. No, I didn't know lighthouses blinked out secret message in Morse Code. Rare, said Judy. Stink, you're a genius. So how do we find the next clue? Stink asked. Judy wasn't listening. She was watching Tallboy and Smart Girl talking to the park ranger. A park ranger was wearing a pirate sash. Let's go talk to that lady assistant pirate. The park ranger had short curly hair and Smokey the Bear hat. She smiled at Judy and Stink. What's the password? She whispered. Lighthouse, they whispered at the same time. You just earned 5 pieces of weight. 5! The ranger reached into a bucket and poured coins into Stink's hand. They jingled all the way. Stink dug into his backpack, pulled out a shiny red pouch, and tied it to his belt. This'll be for our pirate booty. We have 6 already. Ye better guard that booty with your life, said the ranger. There be pirates all over these parts. Then she handed them the next clue. Judy and Stink sat on driftwood log and opened the clue. Look at that. It's in Morse Code, said Stink. Morse Code? Oh, no! We don't have a clue what this means. Who says? Stink reached into his survival backpack again. Shh, said Judy. Spies on deck! Spies on deck! You have the map, they heard Tallboy tell Smart Girl. Where's the library? The library? Judy whispered. Good idea. Let's go. Stink held up a spiral notebook with Morse Code on the cover. You have Morse Code in your survival kit? Said Judy asked. You never know when you might get marooned on a desert island like Gilligan's Island and have to send out a rescue signal. Stink, have I told you lately that you're a genius? Stink grinned. You just did. But tell me again. Judy looked up each letter of the code message, writing them down in Stink's notebook as she found them. What is it? What does it say? Stink pestered. Let me finish, said Judy. It's bad bear, said Stink. Blab beer, blackbird, black bear, blackbird! Screamed Judy and Stink all at the same time, forgetting all about spies. Judy and Stink met Mom and Dad in front of Barnacle Bob's. Those two girls with painted faces have maps, too, said Judy, pointing. So does that surfer dude kid, said Stink. And he's not stopping to eat hot dogs. Judy and Stink wolfed down hot dogs. Then their parents drove them all over town while they tried to solve the next clue. Something about Blackbeard. They went to Blackbeard's castle. They peeked inside the gift shop called Blackbeard's Folly and checked out the Barefoot Blackbeard, a surf shop, but all they found were a lot of flip-flops. Look at those flip-flops. They have skulls on them. That is too funny. Let's park and walk to the center of town, said Mom. I need to get sunscreen, and I'm hoping to find some art supplies, so we do we have to, asked Stink. He could already feel his feet falling apart from all the boring old shopping. Come on! It'll be fun, said Mom. There's a toy store and a pet shop like Fern Fangs and ice cream place. Pirates don't play with toys, said Stink, or go to pet shops. Not even Toys R Us, Mom joked. And they definitely don't eat ice cream, said Judy. Not even Mars Bar Crunch, Dad teased. Some parents are clueless, whispered Stink. We're clueless too, said Stink. Judy and Stink laughed till their stomachs hurt. Stop, said Stink. You're making me get scurvy again. In the village, Judy and Stink saw kids with maps everywhere. Stink across the street and Tall Boy and Smart Girl. Are you the girl who cried pelican thing again? Where you get me to look? He looked anyway. Let's follow them, as in spy. That's called cheating, Stink, said Judy. Pirate rule number something or other. Cheat every chance you get. Carbuncle, said Judy. Judy and Stink trudged up and down back road and school road behind Mom and Dad. In one shop and out the other. Stink made bored sounds. Judy made bored faces. Until they heard a voice. Walk the plank, said the voice. It was not a scurvy Sam pirate voice. It was a high squeaky voice. Shiver me timbers, the voice screeched. I think it's coming from the pet shop, said Judy, rushing inside. Pet shop? Stink called to his parents, rushing after Judy. Jolly Roger's pieces of eight, Jolly Roger! It's that parrot, said Stink, pointing to a large yellow and blue bird with long tail feathers. They hurried over to its cage. Rare, said Judy. What's your name? Stink asked in a parrot voice. Stink, it says right here, that's his name. Blackbeard! Judy and Stink both screamed at the same time. They rushed over to the teenage boy behind the counter. He had coal black hair that fell into his eyes and green army jacket with sleeves ripped off and a silver hoop earring. Maybe that guy's Blackbeard, Stink whispered. Do you know about the treasure hunt? Judy asked the guy. Because we think your parrot is Blackbeard, and that's our next clue. You got it, said the kid, putting on his red sash. He pressed a button on the cash register and handed them 4 pieces of 8. That's 10, said Stink. We have 10. We're gonna win, said Stink. We have 10. We're gonna win. Only need to solve 3 more clues and get 6 more pieces of 8. Stink and Judy went over to the cage again. They looked around for a piece of paper inside the cage, outside the cage, under the cage. Hey, there's nothing here, Judy said to the guy. He has it, the guy said, smiling. Just ask him. Blackbeard singing in the dead of night. Hey, he's singing that old Beatles song. Dad sings about the blackbird, said Judy. Maybe the clue's a blackbird. It is. Is it a blackbird? Stink asked the parrot. Is that the clue? Signs of the parrot, said Blackbeard, ruffling his feathers and bobbing his head up and down. He's getting all excited. Maybe Sign of the Pirate is the clue. Sign of the Pirate! That's gotta be it, said Judy. Every time we say the word clue, Sign of the Pirate! There! See what I mean, said Judy. Yeah. He sounds like a broken record, said Stink. Is it Sign of the Pirate? Is that the clue? Judy asked the guy at the counter. And the guy nodded. Sign of the Pirate! Blackbeard the parrot squawked again. We know, said Stink, covering his ears. Let's get out of here. I can't think. All right.